Modern Warfare 3 Zombies. We need to talk about it. I should have covered this information sooner, but I didn't really get a chance to get around to talking about it, but there were actually a lot more details shared about Modern Warfare 3 2023 Zombies that I want to talk about with you guys, and it's not really looking good. Background gameplay is most likely going to be some Black Ops 3 modded zombies. I'll probably try to play something that's similar to what I think Modern Warfare 3 Zombies could be. There apparently is going to be a modded Outbreak map, I think, for Black Ops 3 that's coming out soon. I saw some trailers for it on Twitter. So we don't have access to being able to play anything like that quite yet, but there are some really cool, like, Modern Warfare 2019 modded maps that you can play on Black Ops 3. Black Ops 3 Zombies is the best. The mod support is just crazy, and that's kind of a big reason why I wanted to make this video talking about Modern Warfare 3 Zombies, because if you guys saw this information, we might have been let down harder than when we were all dropped on our heads as babies. But for real, man, here's the info that we have about Modern Warfare 3 Zombies so far. Unfortunately, we don't have actual gameplay quite yet, and I'm pretty sure we will not see any gameplay until the game is fully out. I doubt they'll even show any gameplay from Modern Warfare 3 Zombies at the COD Next event, because in my opinion, I think Zombies for Modern Warfare 3 is purely just a marketing strategy. It's like a tactic, and it's not really going to be anything good, especially once you see this. Now, this is an older tweet from Charlie Intel, and he basically shared some information about Modern Warfare 3 Zombies, saying that it's basically DMZ plus Outbreak Zombies from Black Ops Cold War. So for the details that he was sharing, he's saying that it's PvE only, it's played on the new Warzone map, there's 4-player squads up to 24 players at a time, there's going to be buy stations, ammo depots, wall buys, mystery boxes, pack-a-punch, you can exfil and get rewards for doing so, and there's going to be a cinematic story part of Treyarch Zombies storyline. If you're wondering why this doesn't sound good, it's because it doesn't. Okay, so let's back it up. We're starting off by saying that Zombies for this game is basically going to be DMZ and Outbreak. It actually just sounds like DMZ. Now, weirdly enough, they're saying PvE only, so you might not be able to actually fight against other squads that are in the server, but the fact that you're going to be playing Zombies on the Warzone map does make it like DMZ. They're essentially going to be changing the bots, the AI from DMZ into zombies that you'll be shooting. I mean, that's so lazy. I gotta try to, like, pull back the rage. I want to get so mad about it, but I'm trying to contain myself. 4-player squads up to 24 players, so you're gonna load into this with 24 players, 6 different squads, but you can't fight each other either, so there's no grief element of this. Now, one thing that could be interesting is if they somehow manage to incorporate a 24-player required Easter egg, which actually kind of sounds terrible because you'd have to have 24 people coordinated to do Easter eggs, but there's also no mention of Easter eggs here at all, so we can't even assume that that's going to be a part of this. But really, like, what's the point? Why does there need to be an exfil element if there's 6 other squads, 24 people total, but you can't fight against each other? Like, why are you even needing to do that? And how exactly is that gonna work? You're gonna load in with 24 people, but is everyone kind of like going through the different rounds separately? Because Outbreak from Black Ops Cold War still technically had rounds, even though it's not really round-based zombies. It's not the classic traditional Treyarch zombies that we all fell in love with. I just don't get the point of any of this. Like, why does it exist? It also says at the bottom it's a cinematic story part of the Treyarch Zombies storyline, but how are you going to tell a story when you're basically just playing DMZ zombies? And this is the only image that we have so far. It looks like the Orda from Black Ops Cold War. I guess that's for some reason making its appearance in here. You can see the zombies. I mean, at least they did actually put some effort into the zombies themselves. But man, I am just not understanding why we need this in Call of Duty. They started building up a separate DMZ mode with Modern Warfare 2. And there is no word about DMZ coming into Modern Warfare 3. There's actually a pretty good chance that this Zombies mode is going to be replacing DMZ. So why did they even make it in the first place? Why did they need to shift focus away from multiplayer, away from the raids, away from Warzone itself? Why did DMZ need to exist in the first place if it's only going to be around for 1 year, and then they tank it to bring this terrible version of Zombies into Modern Warfare 3? I just don't get it. The only possible answer that I've been able to come up with is the fact that it's just being used to try to hold people over until Treyarch's next Call of Duty game in 2024, because a lot of us are expecting the zombies to be good in that game, and if they fall short for that year, then that could be it for a lot of people who really have been just waiting years and years for a good Call of Duty Zombies experience, which is just honestly heartbreaking. Again, I'm trying not to get too pissed off, but I just don't understand why they're doing such a disservice to the zombies part of the Call of Duty community. I don't get it. When I read this over and see that Zombies has become a shell of itself and it's just gonna be, you know, playing zombies on the Warzone map, they should just not even do that. Legitimately, they would be better off not having any of this. I would be happier knowing that there's not going to be zombies in the next game, Treyarch can focus more on their own game, and Sledgehammer and Infinity Ward can tackle whatever they need to for Modern Warfare 3. That would give me a lot more reassurance than this garbage. But backing things up, I kind of want to talk about where I think Call of Duty Zombies peaked, and I think most of you guys would agree with me as well. Zombies for Call of Duty was at its best in Black Ops 3. Now, as far as it goes for the default maps that came with the game and the DLC maps, I mean, that could be up for debate. I know some people just have their own favorite maps. I mean, shit, dude. One of my favorite, like, zombies maps in Call of Duty of all time is Shangri-La from Black Ops 1. That was a DLC map, and some people hate that map. But for whatever reason, I just loved it. It was such a fun map. It had a great trailer. I was one of the first people to get the Easter egg done with my buddies around that time. I have a lot of positive memories associated with Shangri-La, but I can also understand that objectively, Black Ops 3 Zombies is still the best. And it's actually because of a couple of other things. The first and most important one is mod support. It's the reason why you're able to see some of the crazy zombies gameplay that I should have in the background of this video going right now. Mod support gave Black Ops 3 Zombies essentially an infinite shelf life. There's no reason why Black Ops 3 Zombies would ever get boring as long as the community keeps putting in their passion and their effort into making unique experiences. And honestly, ever since Black Ops 3 came out, and mod support was made available, it has only gotten better and better as the years have gone on. It's honestly just incredible. Big shout out to the Black Ops 3 modding community for zombies and just the modding community in general. Those guys are incredible. They have so much talent and creativity, and they have kept Call of Duty Zombies alive for so many years. And this is not only one of the biggest selling points for Black Ops 3 on PC, but it should also give a moment of clarity to Activision and the dev teams that work on zombies. If you put mod support in a Call of Duty game and you allow us to create our own zombies maps and experiences, they don't necessarily have to put as much time and effort and resources into zombies. If you give that power to the community, they will provide that for everyone else. We're kind of seeing a similar thing with the launch of Starfield. Like, you can't even change your field of view in Starfield, but in less than 24 hours, the modding community has already created a mod to change your field of view. I mean, I already got that set up on my game. It's truly insane what can happen and how much better things can get when you trust the players, when you trust your own community. But the second thing that also makes Black Ops 3 Zombies just stand out above everything else was Zombies Chronicles. They remastered 8 maps from World at War, Black Ops 1, and Black Ops 2, and they put them in Black Ops 3, and it was just great. Back then, it was just a genius decision from Treyarch and Activision, and we haven't gotten anything quite like that ever since they released it. We never got a Zombies Chronicles 2, whether that would have been for Black Ops 3 or, you know, Black Ops 4 or even Cold War. It just never happened. Which brings me back to mod support for Black Ops 3 and why it's still the best thing ever. If the modding community wanted to, they could just port these maps from the older games into Black Ops 3, and I think they actually might have done that. So yeah, man, that's basically why Black Ops 3 Zombies is some of the best zombies we've ever had for Call of Duty. It had solid maps and DLC maps. Mod support is really just the best. I mean, it's the king of Black Ops 3, and then you also have Zombies Chronicles on top of that. And I truly believe that ever since Black Ops 3, Zombies for Call of Duty has done nothing but just decline since then. And I've just been sitting here trying to figure out what the hell happens. Like, how come it hasn't gotten better over time? How come things haven't improved since Black Ops 3? Now, as I've been thinking it over and over again, I really do think that a major factor as to why we haven't seen zombies improve in Call of Duty and why it's not the main focus is partially because Battle Royale became a big focus for them. Obviously, making bundles and, you know, making money off of the microtransactions, that is a massive focus for them. But what also kind of sucks about this is that they've been trying to push us in the direction of DMZ, but not that many people are really playing it and interested in it, which is maybe why it's still in a beta stage, and they might not actually be bringing it into Modern Warfare 3 and other future Call of Duty games. We don't have any idea, no clue, what the future of DMZ for Call of Duty is going to be, and whether or not the extraction style gameplay is going to be a trend that actually lives on and becomes, you know, like the next Battle Royale, like if it's going to overtake Fortnite. I think that's what a lot of these dev studios are trying to do. Like, they think that extraction is going to be the next big thing, but it could very well just fall flat on its face and not really be something that takes off and does well. Which is why it feels even worse that Zombies has been pushed to the side. Like, it's just not a main focus for them anymore. Now, while all of this sounds bleak, it's not like they can't redeem themselves. It's not like Zombies can't get better, and that's exactly why I want to take this portion of the video to focus on the good things and also share my feedback. I know I'm not, you know, the biggest Zombies player. I don't play it 24/7. Part of that is is because the recent Call of Duty game Zombies have been very bad, but I have played my fair share of zombies over the years, and especially a lot of modded zombie stuff on Black Ops 3, and I want to take this time to offer my advice, some potential feedback, and solutions for how to make zombies better in the mainline Call of Duty games, as well as an even better suggestion that would definitely be the best possible thing that they could do for Call of Duty Zombies. So here we go, man. When it comes to Call of Duty being a yearly franchise, clearly they will never stray away from that. We thought we were going to have year 2 for Modern Warfare 2, and that's not going to happen.
There ain't gonna be any.
Year 2 for Modern Warfare 2. Now you have to buy Modern Warfare 3 in order to play another yearly Call of Duty game. That's just how it is. So since it's basically set in stone that Call of Duty will remain yearly and will never have that kind of experience for a mainline Call of Duty game, when it comes to Call of Duty Zombies, they need to only be in Treyarch titles, period. I just don't personally think it makes sense for them to be spending all of this time and energy and effort and resources to put zombies in an Infinity Ward game or a Sledgehammer game. It just doesn't make sense. The Zombies mode has always been and always should be Treyarch's staple for their games. I genuinely think the only way that we can get the best possible Zombies experience for Call of Duty is if it's only in Treyarch's games. That's just how it is. You might have had fun playing Extinction and Ghosts, you might have had a little bit of fun with Exo Zombies and Advanced Warfare, but it will never top Black Ops 3. And even for other Treyarch Call of Duty games that have zombies, it's most likely not gonna top whatever they can produce. So in my opinion, why would you even bother putting zombies in games where it's just not going to succeed and thrive the way that it does in Treyarch games? So if this is gonna be the direction that they decide to go with, keeping Call of Duty yearly and not just making one solid game that they can support for years, then I think that the Zombies mode, the classic traditional zombies that Treyarch cultivated, should just stay in their games. Because clearly they have not been able to replicate that success for the Zombies mode in other types of games. And to build off of that, when they release zombies in a Treyarch Call of Duty game, there should be roughly 2 to 3 round-based zombies maps that have Easter eggs. They're all ready to go at launch, and then we can get some seasonal content and get some more free round-based zombies maps as the game's lifecycle progresses. Now, as far as it goes for mod support, I think it's very unlikely that they would ever do that again, because I feel like they think that mod support in Black Ops 3 was a mistake. It's made it very hard for people to stop having interest in Black Ops 3, to stop playing it, to stop playing the modded experiences and move on and enjoy new things that they create. They essentially dug themselves in a hole and they're trapped. They can't get out. They basically made Black Ops 3 Zombies the pinnacle of Call of Duty Zombies in the entire franchise, and the only way they can ever top it is if they just keep putting mod support in the games, which it doesn't seem like that's what they want to do anymore. If you put mod support in future Call of Duty games and allow the community to carry the Zombies community forward into greatness, then you don't have to waste as much time, energy, and effort into necessarily making the base zombies good, because the community will just do that for you. The Zombies community is a very passionate community, and they have the creativity and the talent to make it happen. So while I think it's extremely unlikely that any future Call of Duty game will get mod support, especially for the zombie side of things, I think it would be great for them to consider bringing it back. And lastly, I think you guys know where I'm going with this. They should try to emulate the success of Zombies Chronicles 2. They could easily sell that DLC. It doesn't have to be free. I mean, ideally, it would be free because it's probably going to be remastered maps. But if they don't see financial viability in Call of Duty Zombies, this could be their ticket back in. Selling us Zombies Chronicles 2 for, roughly 30 bucks, give us 8 remastered maps, possibly even more depending on, how generous they're feeling on that day. I think those 3 things are the only way that Call of Duty Zombies can kind of return back to greatness, to become what it was in Black Ops 3. But even then, it's still not going to be as good. It's just not possible. The way that Zombies for Call of Duty has gone over time is that it was on an upward trend, and then Black Ops 3 is really where it peaked. And ever since then, it's just been going down. And if they do the suggestions that I have just provided, it would bring it back up, but it would not be able to peak higher than what Black Ops 3 did, which is why I'm going to offer up a final suggestion, which I think is the best case scenario for Call of Duty Zombies. Simply just release a free-to-play standalone game that is separate from everything else, separate from multiplayer, separate from Warzone, and just call it Call of Duty Zombies. Make it the ultimate place to play and the portal where everyone can enjoy and play zombies in Call of Duty. Round-based zombies, Outbreak, Grief mode coming back, mod support, Zombies Chronicles, whatever you gotta do. There could be so much potential if they actually just made a separate project where Treyarch or potentially a different dev team or maybe multiple teams could work on just zombies for Call of Duty. That would absolutely be a banger idea. It would allow them to make amazing zombies experiences without having to worry about how it's going to fit in the multiplayer schedule or the Warzone schedule, or, you know, the different DLC and season releases and stuff like that, if they put 100% of their focus and attention into a free-to-play Call of Duty Zombies experience that could get updated for years, that would be incredible. I think that's truly the only way that they can make COD Zombies peak beyond what Black Ops 3 had to offer. Honestly, man, with an idea like this, there's just endless potential. Like, we could have an actual Zombies campaign mode where you can play on recruit, regular, hardened, veteran, maybe even impossible difficulties. You could have a leaderboard for that campaign where people can speed run, they can try to rack up the most amount of kills and stuff like that. There's so much they could do, but still, it just boils down to what do they really want to do as a company? Like, what's their focus? What kind of experiences do they want to create? And I think most importantly for their side of things, what's going to sell the most? What's going to make them the most amount of money? Now, in terms of monetizing a game like this where it's free to play, that might not sound as appealing to them because, you know, people wouldn't have to pay that like $60 to $70 price tag to get into the game, but the whole point of making the game free to play is that you can get a larger player base. And once you have a larger player base, then you can figure out how to monetize that and how to actually make money off of it. And I'm pretty sure they would love this next idea, but if you had a standalone Call of Duty Zombies experience like that, you could easily sell bundles and skins and blueprints, and you could have a lot more flexible creativity because there's no need to make things realistic. You could have as much fun as you want with it. It's just crazy, man. Like, when I think of Call of Duty Zombies, I really just see unlimited potential, and it's kind of sad to see that that's like not their vision anymore. They don't see that. Like, just imagine if we had a COD Zombies game, like a standalone game where you could go for Easter eggs and there could be leaderboards for who completed them the fastest or who completed them first, and you could have a thing like that upcoming Bungie Extraction game where people who finish the Easter egg first, they could like have their names engraved somewhere on the map or something like that. There's so much they could do. But yeah, man, tying it back into Modern Warfare 3 Zombies and what we're going to be getting for this year at least, my main takeaway is that if you are actually planning to buy Modern Warfare 3, do not buy the game for zombies. I can almost guarantee that you will be heavily disappointed if this is all that the zombies mode is going to be. And yeah, man, I mean, I think I offered a lot of amazing advice and suggestions and feedback for what they could do for Call of Duty Zombies, and it's only a matter of whether or not they actually want to listen to the community. Because listen, man, I know that they look at us and they think that we're armchair devs, that we don't really know what we're talking about. But if you take the time to look at the Black Ops 3 Steam workshop and you see what the community has created for the game, clearly, we know what we're talking about. And with that being said, thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed watching me make this little video talking about Modern Warfare 3 Zombies and where I really think Call of Duty Zombies needs to go moving forward. If you guys did enjoy this video and you want to see a standalone Call of Duty Zombies game at some point, make sure to drop a like. I'll see you guys later.
Outcome, Tango.